and welcome everyone to another installment of RJG Games. Happy New Year, everyone! I'm hoping you guys are having a good year so far. Um, I haven't done a video in a while because the holidays came around, so I was kind of thinking of doing something for Christmas, kind of ahead of time, but I just kind of decided to push that back. I was going to do something for New Year's, but push that back, so decided just to focus and do something after the holiday season had passed. And one of the reasons is because for Christmas, my roommate and I decided to go up to Las Vegas. And anybody wondering, it was empty. uh, it was, oh my God, this is like the emptiest I've seen Vegas. And I've been there in the past, even before the pandemic, when it wasn't. I thought it was empty. This was empty. There was a time at Tom's Urban at the New York, when we were having dinner, and we kind of looked up, and there was like no one there. It wasn't even 10 at night. We were the last people in there. Happened again at Diablo's Cantina at the Luxor, and on Christmas Day we had dinner at the public house, also at the Luxor. And there were more people that day there, but it was still pretty empty. Everybody was pretty spread out, and even for that, it was compared to the other times I've been since Vegas reopened, it was still pretty empty. So, regardless of that, we had a pretty good time. The cool thing about it is that I kind of took the time to go around on New Year's, on Christmas Eve, and on the day after Christmas to hit the thrift shops there. And I kind of like going there for thrift hunting. I don't know, I just kind of find more variety, and they're a little more organized than a lot of the thrift shops here, especially the Goodwills. The Goodwills over there have a program where they make an account for you based on your phone number. So every time you go, if you have any discounts, like if you're a veteran, you get an automatic discount. It's already inputted in their system, so all you got to do is give them the phone number, and your file comes up, and you automatically get a discount. Now, during my Goodwill finds over there, I was able to find this Xbox controller, original Xbox controller, and this is one of the things I run into this a lot when I find Xbox controllers at any thrift shop. That a lot of times they're missing the part that connects to the actual Xbox. So in the past, I've kind of skipped buying these controllers because of that. Luckily, I found a vendor on Amazon that sells them. Was able to get two for a very reasonable price. So now that I know where to find these online, I can actually, if I find these at a Goodwill, I can actually get them and just order some of these. This one vendor in particular sold two for the same price that other vendors sell only one. So that was a really good deal. So pretty good find there. The other find, I also found a PS3 controller, which is actually connected currently to my PS3. It was literally looks, compared to all the other controllers I have, this one looks new, like spanking new. So I'm just gonna keep it there. Another thing I found in Vegas was Tangled. This one here, Blu-ray and DVD, still had them both inside. Really good condition. People probably saw them a couple of times and let them go. So I got this. This was actually, I forgot what color tag. And for Goodwill, when you go into the store every day, they have a different color tag promotion. Sometimes the tag is 50% off, sometimes 75% off, sometimes only 25% off. Sometimes they have dual tag colors to where, let's say, the green is 25% off and the yellow tags are, sometimes they do this. Sometimes anything with a yellow tag is $1. And those are really good deals. Like yesterday, I hit another thrift shop and I found this right here. It's a USB floppy drive. And the reason I bought this is because every once in a while you need to make a bootable drive for, if you're doing any retro gaming and you put together an old retro PC, you need to boot up, and and having this handy in order to be able to make, for example, a Windows 98 boot up disk, which actually loads the drivers for the CD-ROM, or DVD-ROM. You can still use those with Windows 98. It's handy having this. And this was a yellow tag, no, green tag, and original price was $7.99. But yesterday, everything at that one Goodwill that was a green tag was $1. So I was able to get this for $1, and that was really good. Goodwill hunting.
How do you like them apples?
So another find in Vegas was this GameCube controller. And again, it's like this one is in such, it looks almost brand new. I think someone must have kept it somewhere, and when they donated it, they took it out of the box and just threw it with a bunch of stuff. But everything on this controller looks so brand new. And it's an actual Nintendo GameCube controller. So it's not a third party. So I was able to get this for a good price. Really good find. Let me put this back here. Another thing I found was this Atari controller. And the reason that I was pretty hype about it is because compared to the originals are a real pain to control. And this one's actually very smooth, very easy to move. And it works with, of course, the original Atari. And it's got big old Atari logo. So I was able to find this in Vegas as well. That was a pretty good find. Pretty happy to find that. Now, not everything you find at a thrift shop is going to be a home run. Some things that you buy are going to be missing parts, and sometimes you don't know that until after you get them. And that's definitely the case with this very interesting looking PS3 controller. PS3 wireless controller. Well, it doesn't say 2.4 gigahertz or anything, so it didn't imply that it needed a dongle. So I mean, I saw it, I picked it up, and I bought it, and sure enough, it needs a dongle. So it's going to take me a while to be able to find this. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it at a thrift shop because the dongle for this is probably very small, and it'll be hard to recognize it going to this. But the reason I bought it is because it's got a alphanumeric keypad built into it. That's pretty cool. I kind of always wanted to buy a keypad add-on for my PlayStation 3 controller, and this is already built in. So this is definitely something I'm going to be looking for online to find a dongle for this so that I can connect this to my PS3, and it'll be pretty smooth. The battery's good. I've done a full charge on it, and it's like it turns on and all. Let me see. I left it on, so I discharged it. No, there it is. It works. So yeah, definitely looking for a dongle for that. Another thing I bought that also needs a dongle is this Logitech Freedom 2.4 cordless joystick. I've been getting a lot into Microsoft. I'm blanking out on the name of the game, but it's the flight simulator, the latest one. And it's if you haven't played the flight simulator, it's so beautiful. The graphics on it are just amazing. This is the kind of stuff that I wish back in the 90s was out, that our technology would have been to, because back then I had more time. I was really into video games, and it's like multimedia was starting to take over and making its way into PC gaming, but the graphics never looked as good as they do as today's flight simulator does. And I saw that I kind of would love to get this up and running, working for my PC, but it needs a dongle. And the dongle online, this I only paid $4.99 for at the Goodwill. The dongle online just by itself costs about $29, where I've seen these controllers with the dongle go for about that price. So that's going to take me a while. Now the dongle for this is actually pretty big, so it's not going to be hard to be able to recognize it if I go to a thrift shop and be able to get it. So again, another thing I'm going to be keeping my eyes open when I go thrift hunting. Now, also, when you go thrift hunting, a lot of people just kind of, especially if you're a gamer, you're just looking for gaming stuff. The other thing that a lot of people forget to look for is music. And I've been able to find a lot of good music. And this time, when I went to Las Vegas and I hit the thrift shops, I scored pretty big with Morrissey. I'm a big Morrissey fan, and I got 4 Morrissey CDs, all in very good condition. Also got the Beatles, the Cranberries, and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Another good one right there, classic. For people who didn't know, if you ever watched The Postman with Kevin Kevin Costner, I was about to call him Kevin Bacon, but Kevin Costner. In that movie, actually, Tom Petty has a cameo as himself. It's pretty cool because you didn't know that. Right now, right before heading to Vegas, I did a little modding here at home. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I have had this Dreamcast. I bought it like for $30 like almost 2 years ago. And the guy that sold it to me, he hadn't tested it or anything. He said, I don't know if it works or not. I just wanted it because it came with 2 controllers. And I figured, well, at some point I might be able to fix it. The lasers on these are very well known for burning out. And once the laser goes, that's it. There's no way you can save it. And there's no point of getting a donor drive for these, because if you have a good working one and a good one, then why take it out of a perfectly good working Sega Dreamcast? You also got to be careful because there are different Dreamcasts out there. You can tell by the number on the back over here. This little circle and has the 1, and there's one that has a 0 and one that has a 2. So depending on the number on the back is where they were manufactured and the parts they use, and those drives aren't really interchangeable. So it's one of those things that a lot of people, once these die, that's it. Unless you mod it, just like that. And this emulator here, basically what it is a board that completely replaces the built-in disk drive on there. And basically it takes an SD card, and you can actually copy, basically back up your games from your disk onto your computer, and then load them all up on the disk. And there is software that you need to put on here for it to be read by the card when you turn it on. But basically, this brings new life to your drive that otherwise would not be able to pretty much do anything. Now, I'm going to be doing another mod on this, and actually the battery in it is dead, it's gone. So I was able to order this online, and this is going to replace the built-in battery that it comes with. Basically, the battery's soldered on there, and once the battery dies, it dies. And every time you turn it on, you have to reset the time. With this, you basically replace that battery, put this cradle in there, and then if you put in a new battery, and when it dies, you just pop the battery out and put a new one in, and that's it. So I'm going to be changing that. The emulator that the Dreamcast uses, unfortunately, doesn't act like the emulator for the PS2. Even the emulator for the PS2, the emulator itself is in the memory card. So it still uses the memory card to store games. So the emulator and the memory card kind of become one and the same pretty much. If you have an Xbox and you want to save a game, it's got a built-in hard drive. Even if you jailbreak it, I guess you could call it that, mod it basically. Even if you mod your Xbox, you're able to still save games, your game progress onto the hard drive. The thing about the emulator for the Dreamcast is that it doesn't work as a virtual memory unit in order for you to be able to save games to. So you still need to buy one of these. And I have found one for a good price on eBay, not even as a bid, just to buy it now. And the seller, like that very same day, he canceled, refunded me, no explanation, nothing. It was like, what gives, dude? So I was able to find this one on Amazon, the one and only one that I was able to find for $10. I was looking at this, 128K memory unit, 128 kilobytes. You know, just the ones for the Xbox 360 alone were, I think there were 32 gigs. No, not even gigs, 32 megabytes. That's still more than this. So they sold those in denominations of 32, 64, and 128 megabytes. But yeah, how simplistic were games when the Dreamcast came out? That 128K memory unit was enough to save your games with. So that kind of blew my mind when I saw that. Now with the this little mod I'm going to be making, I bought some batteries online as well, just to have them handy. I also use these for my Apple TV remote. So if that thing dies, I replace it with this. And any of my old school consoles, the battery runs out, I put a new one in. So it's good to have a nice little supply right there. Now, besides you know games and stuff like that, movies again, like I said, I found Tangled in Vegas. Now these were just from yesterday. And these two right here in particular, I kind of want to talk about because these are both 3D movies. They were Beauty and the Beast 3D was a conversion, 3D conversion. This one was actually rendered out in 3D and can buy it here. And the reason I keep an eye out for these 3D movies whenever I go thrift hunting out there is because 3D is basically being phased out. It's like it started being phased out like I would say 5 years ago, and people started noticing like 3 years ago. And you can still find a lot of movies for sale in 3D overseas in Europe. So a lot of the movies that came out in theaters in 3D that didn't necessarily come out in 3D Blu-ray here, I have to order online and have them shipped from overseas, or people who just have people ship them and resell them here. So that's the only way I've been able to get some of those movies. I had actually bought Beauty and the Beast 3D from a European seller on Amazon. And I was pretty stoked when I found this yesterday. And the cool thing about it is that the digital code was still unredeemed. So I got basically everything: the Blu-ray 3D, the regular Blu-ray, the DVD, and the digital copy. And it's got a Blu-ray with special features, bonus material right there as well. So that's pretty cool. So that's why I keep an eye out for these. And thrift shops are a really good place to be able to find these. Tangle I talked about, The Dark Knight Rises. This one only paid $1 for it. It was one of those green tags. So was this one. And sometimes you'll find stuff that's never been opened, like this DC Comics starter pack. And check this out. It's got the first season of The Flash, first season of Gotham, and first season of Arrow. And actually, Arrow is the show that got me back into watching DC on television. I kind of enjoyed the first, second, and third season, and then after it kind of started wearing out. But luckily for me, The Flash was already out, and that kind of became my number one show on television. Gotham, I kind of liked the first season, and after that, I think after the third season, it just started going downhill for me, kind of like Arrow. But I don't mind having the first season here because I actually really did enjoy it. And like I said, I'm open. Look at this. Still shrink wrapped. That was a pretty good find right there. Pretty good price. Now I remember you guys probably heard this. If you've never watched Game of Thrones, you probably had friends telling you you're crazy, you should watch it, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. And every time people would tell me watch it, I didn't want to watch it when the hype was out. I didn't want to go with the flow with the crowd. And a lot of times I get into shows like that I wasn't interested in until after they've been done, and I find the seasons on Blu-ray at a thrift shop. And this one I found the first season, and all the discs are in here, and they're all in really good condition. And I was like really impressed. Look at that. They're all in there. And again, all while thrift shopping. All in one day. These right here I found, with the exception of Tangled, which I found in Vegas. All these I found at the same thrift shop yesterday. So that was a pretty good deal. Actually, these right here, I'm collecting the Saturday Night Live, the best of. And I hadn't found Dan Aykroyd, and I finally found him yesterday. So that's pretty cool that I have this. And one of my childhood favorite TV shows, The Monsters. And funny thing about this, I thought that I was going to have to buy, because in case you don't know, two movies came out for the Monsters, and I thought I was going to have to buy them separately. And then it wasn't until after I got home that I realized the two feature-length movies are included in this collection. So my collection is complete. And again, thrift hunting. Now I'm going to go a little bit beyond thrift mentioning here. There's other ways to be able to find good scores on there, not just by hitting thrift shops, but actually there are social media. Facebook has Marketplace, and there's this app that I use called OfferUp. I used to like Let Go Better, and I still do, even though it's not a thing anymore. We got merged with OfferUp. I liked it better because you were able to give sellers a review and buyers a review as well. So it was a community, and everybody. I had a very good reputation on OfferUp. So I had a high, really good score on there, and really good reviews, and you could read the reviews and know whether you wanted to make a deal with someone or not. And I had a good reputation on there, and then they sold the service to OfferUp, and OfferUp just migrated everyone over. They kept the rating, but no reviews. You cannot read people's reviews on there, so it's kind of shading. I worked really hard to get a very good reputation, but I digress. Talking about those apps in particular, and Craigslist is still an option out there, even though Craigslist really needs to evolve and be able to allow on-site communication instead of just doing it through them and then it sends it to an email, because it's not instant. You don't always check your emails on the spot, on the moment, as these apps do, like Facebook Marketplace. Someone sends me a message on it, I know right away. Someone's contacting me of something I'm selling. Same thing with OfferUp. It's like if I'm selling something, someone sends me a message right away, I know someone's interested in one of my products that I'm selling there, and be able to talk to them and make a deal. But look in there as well, in your community, in your neighborhood. Someone might be selling something that just because they don't want it anymore. They buy a new video card, and they're just trying to get rid of their old one. They're not trying to make any money. They just want to make a little bit of money back. I've been able to find really great deals on video cards, processors, motherboards, memories, solid state drives, cases, fans, RGB lighting, you name it. Everything there is to building a computer, I've been able to find on there, on those apps. But on top of that, because I'm such a nerd, I've been able to find stuff like this. Some of the collectibles that I love to collect. I got Scotty from The Next Generation and Admiral Leonard McCoy from The Next Generation. And this right here, and let me move this a little closer to camera to show you guys exactly what it is. Now this I had a chance to buy back in the day. I was in the Army, in case you guys didn't know. And I went to the PX one day, and they were selling this on clearance for $20. And back then, they were still very common. Like I could go to Target or Walmart, and it's like I had seen these on the shelf. So I'm like, it's not something that's going to disappear. They're just trying to get rid of it. It's been here that long. So I just figured I'll come back a little later and buy it because I didn't want to be carrying this around all over the place. So just a little later, as I'm getting ready to go to checkout, I go back and it was gone. I had never seen one of these physically again. I seen them online for sale, but physically, not until yesterday when I went to pick this up. And this was a Facebook Marketplace find. And the same guy that sold me that is the guy that sold me these. So I was able to he told me, I'm selling other stuff on there. Check it out in case there's anything you want. So I said, okay, the TOS Star Trek set and these two guys, and I was able to talk them down for at a very reasonable price. And I'm pretty stoked about it because, like I said, I had a missed opportunity back in the 90s. I wasn't going to let that happen again. So there it is. Let me put it back there. And another find yesterday. And this was actually on, I believe it was on OfferUp. Someone was selling this in Santa Monica. They didn't even have an Xbox. They don't even remember how they got this controller, but it was brand spanking new. It still had the plastic on it and everything, and I got it for $10. And this is what I've been using yesterday. I have 3 other controllers, and this is what I've been using since I got home yesterday. It's like I'm just pretty stoked for just finding a deal like that. So again, look around online at the apps, and you'll be able to find stuff. Now, I'm gonna be talking about my Christmas presents that I got this year, and this one right here, this Battlestar Galactica Colonial Viper, is a Mark II. I got this from my brother. This was my brother's gift to me, and it came without the rotating stand that I got later. So, yeah, I love Battlestar Galactica. I love the reimagined. There's some people out there who don't like it, but I like this Viper because it's the closest thing on the show that they had to the original Vipers from the original Battlestar Galactica from the 70s. And it actually, this is an Eagle Moss model, and the Mark I that they sell is actually the one from the 1970s show. So that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to being able to get at some point. This I got from my friend Scott from Orlando, and this is for those of you who know what this is. You know how significant that is. That was the very first Star Trek ornament released by Hallmark back in 1992, and this is an original. This is a 1992 release, and I'm just really stoked that I have such wonderful friends and such a wonderful brother to give me stuff of the stuff I love watching. So that was great getting those two there. My nephew sent me this. For those of you who've seen my videos of my figure collection, you know I like Vocaloid, Hatsune Miku, and this is Luca, one of the Vocaloids. And this is one of the figures that I looked for. Last time I went to Frankensons, I went all over the place looking for this. No one had it. They had the Rin figure, but they didn't have Luca. And this is the one I wanted, and he sent this to me. It arrived just a little bit after Christmas, but nonetheless, just as significant. This right here was from my roommate, and of course, more Star Trek, Captain Kirk. And this is from Art Asylum. Very nice figure, and this is the basically the Kirk from Arena, where he fights the Gorn. And he's got the blood, he's got the punches, even in his stomach you can see a little bit of blood right there. So, you know, this is Captain Kirk at his best, fighting alien life forms. Con! Now, this isn't a present, but while I was in Vegas, I went to the pawn shop from Pawn Stars. Now, I didn't buy this there. Actually, I bought this from the place that's called Rock Toys. And this is the place where whenever they have like a collectible toy come into the shop, they have the guys from Rock Toys come in and tell them the story about it and appraise the figure, or you know, whatever toy they're bringing. So actually, their shop is at one of their shops. They have several in Las Vegas, but they have one really close to the pawn shop. And as we were leaving, we spotted it and we're like, dude, let's go in there, check it out. I was able to find this Mandalorian. I have the one without the, with the old, what you would call it? The armor, but old beat up, the old armor that you see him in the first episode with. And this one here, I had only seen people post it online, but I had never seen it on the shelves. Went there, they had it. It was very reasonably priced. They gave me a discount, and what I like about it is I should have held on to it. The way they put the prices on, they use this sticker that doesn't stick on permanently. It's easy to peel off, and on top of that sticker is where they put the price sticker. So I really liked toy stores, collectible stores, comic book stores that do this because for collectors, that's a big deal. I hate going to any shop, especially like Walmart, Target, Best Buy. You go to these places and they put the sticker instead of putting it on the plastic where it's easy to take off. No, they put it right on the card, and it's like you can't remove it because without damaging the actual surface of the card. So I was very happy to see that there are locations out there that do take me into consideration and not damage the packaging that these figures come in. So that was really cool. Now, this one here was from Melly, and you guys remember Melly from the very first episode. She was one of our guests here, the only guest I've had here so far. But she sent me this. It finally arrived today. So I don't know what's in it. I have no idea what's in here. So I'm actually going to open it right now. And look at me, just using computer cords in order to to break the tape on here. So I'm opening this up for the first time. And okay, that's just okay. So as you guys know, Coffee and I go not a long way back. Actually, when I grew up, I loathed coffee. I couldn't drink coffee. And through high school, I wouldn't touch this stuff. Then I joined the Army. My drill sergeant drank coffee, so everybody drank coffee. Haven't been able to put the stuff down ever since. Oh my God, this is good. So, I am not surprised that someone would send me a personalized coffee mug. That's me right there. So in case you guys didn't know, that's my Evangelion t-shirt that I have. Had I known, I'm wearing an Evangelion t-shirt. Had I known anything remotely, I would have worn that same t-shirt. And of course, I don't wear a hat as much as I used to, but when I started going to conventions and such, I wore a hat all the time, primarily Green Lantern. Then later on, it kind of changed a little bit. For a while, there was nothing but Jack Skellington, but that used to be my signature, and I still wear a hat from time to time. I have a Mickey hat. I actually just got to clean it. But this is awesome. And of course, I have a cup and a mug on my other hand. So thank you so much, Melly, for getting me that. That is that is awesome. So tomorrow morning, I will be drinking coffee out of this coffee mug. That was great, really cool. So Christmas presents right there. Put them all over here. And this was like a Christmas present to myself. So I'm putting it here with these right here in the same category because Christmas presents are awesome. And that, honestly, that Viper is just the detail on it. So awesome. So, guys, I think that's it for today. I hope I gave you guys a little bit of advice on how to go shopping. Look at trip shops online and see what's available in your area. It'd be a shame for them to end up throwing away a lot of electronics that could be salvageable, especially consoles. Sometimes some thrift shops kind of go overboard, and they'll see like I saw down in Santa Monica at one of their thrift shops. They had an original PlayStation, and it had the little mod in the back, which are I've been able to find for $10 or so. And I think someone might have seen it and said, "Oh my god, you can." That makes it that unlocks it. You can play. It makes it region free. You can play backup disc on there and whatnot. So someone might have thought that it was like, "Oh, this is the holy grail of video gaming," and they were asking $249. Really, $249. Sometimes some thrift shops will surprise me and just kind of disappoint me on the prices they put on the things they are selling. It's a thrift shop, and it's a hit and miss. Sometimes you go to the same thrift shop and find something really expensive one week. Next week you'll see the same item and it'll already be marked down to a much more reasonable price. Um, you'll be surprised. You'll be able to find computer components on there. There are some areas that will have specific thrift locations, like Goodwill down in Santa Ana. They do have one specific location for nothing but electronics, and you can even buy video cards down to the component level of computer parts. So it's check out with your areas, see what's available. Some places have a lot. Some places only have a couple of thrift shops. But if you live like in a metropolitan area like LA, it's like you can go so many places and find really good deals. So, guys, I hope this kind of gave you a little more insight on thrift shopping right there and online. Remember, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, and keep hitting Craigslist. Every once in a while, I find something on Craigslist, and for the longest time, I thought Craigslist was done, and then I'll go in there, find something, contact the seller, and be able to get something really cool for a really good price. So, guys, thanks for watching. Next in the next couple of weeks, I'll make another episode. I actually got a job. I start on Tuesday. So luckily it's only 4 days a week, so it still gives me a 3-day weekend in order to be able to make videos and thrift shop. So hopefully find some good stuff that I can talk about next time, or give you an update on my mod here with Dreamcast, see how things go with it. I also bought some capacitors to change on my NES that I bought to get it up and running. So if I do that in between, I'll probably be posting a little bit about that and let you guys know how that goes. But until then, guys, thanks for watching. Take care, be kind, rewind.